failed long before the crimes. Jürgen Bartsch was not a case that appeared suddenly or without warning. Long before the crimes that shocked Germany, his life was already marked by neglect, abuse, and repeated institutional failure. This story does not begin with violence. It begins with silence. Post-war Germany and a broken safety net. Bartsch grew up in a Germany still struggling to recover from the devastation of World War II. Families were fractured, social services were overwhelmed, and child welfare systems focused more on control than care. Many children were moved quickly through institutions without long-term support. A child without protection. From an early age, Bartsch experienced neglect instead of safety. Foster placements failed repeatedly. Physical punishment was common, emotional support was absent, and trust never developed. What should have been protection became a source of trauma. Early behavioral warning signs. As a child, Bartsch showed troubling behavior that did not go unnoticed. He struggled socially, withdrew from others, and had difficulty regulating emotions. Teachers and caretakers documented concerns, but those concerns did not lead to sustained intervention. Documented but dismissed. Reports were written and files were created. Assessments noted instability and emotional disturbance. Yet each institution treated the case as temporary. Problems were recorded, then passed along, then forgotten. Moved instead of helped. Instead of receiving consistent psychological care, Bartsch was repeatedly transferred. Foster homes, youth institutions, correctional environments. Each move removed responsibility rather than addressing the underlying trauma. Normalization of risk. Over time, disturbing behavior became routine. Isolation deepened. Impulse control weakened. When warning signs appear repeatedly without consequence, they stop triggering urgency. Danger becomes background noise. Adolescence without guidance. Adolescence is a critical period for emotional development. Bartsch entered this stage without therapy, without stability, and without trust in authority. Isolation became his normal state, and isolation reinforced harmful internal patterns. Missed opportunities for prevention. Multiple chances existed to intervene. Psychological evaluations identified risk. Behavioral reports suggested escalation. Staff expressed concern, but no coordinated response followed. Each signal remained isolated. Released without support, Bartsch was repeatedly released into society with minimal supervision. The assumption was that time would stabilize him. Instead, unresolved trauma continued to shape his behavior. Escalation into violence. The transition from internal fantasy to external violence was gradual. It was not sudden or unpredictable. By adulthood, emotional disconnection and psychological instability were firmly established. Public shock and disbelief. When Bartsch was finally arrested, the public reacted with horror. Media coverage portrayed the crimes as incomprehensible, yet investigators quickly realized the warning signs had existed for years. Looking back at the records, reviewing Bartsch's history revealed a clear pattern. Every institution had noticed something. No institution had acted decisively. Responsibility had dissolved into bureaucracy. The trial and psychological findings. During the trial, Experts described long-term trauma, neglect, and institutional failure. This did not excuse the crimes, but it reframed understanding. Bartsch was responsible for his actions, but the system's role was undeniable. No single point of failure. One of the most disturbing aspects was the absence of clear accountability. Each authority followed procedure. None followed the child. Responsibility was diluted across systems. Systemic failure, not an exception. The Bartsch case reflected broader post-war institutional weaknesses. Overburdened services, fragmented communication, and a focus on order rather than rehabilitation allowed risk to grow unchecked. Reforms that came too late. The case led to changes in child welfare oversight and psychiatric follow-up. Communication between institutions improved. But these reforms came after irreversible harm. The human cost of neglect. This story is not only about crime. It is about what happens when prevention is treated as optional, when warning signs become paperwork, when intervention is delayed until it no longer matters, why this case still matters. Bartsch's story remains relevant today. Systems still struggle with coordination, accountability, and early intervention. The same mistakes continue to appear under different names. Final thoughts. Jürgen Bartsch did not appear from nowhere. He was shaped by neglect, silence, and institutional failure. This case asks a difficult question. What happens when prevention is possible, but never prioritized?